if you're here, hang on, I'm just trying to see if there's any way I can get my chat back on here like it used to be. Jimmy had me do something, and it totally... So weird, I don't know what happened. Everything just went away. Alright, I'll just have to pop it out of YouTube. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Okay, hang on, I see you guys there now. Hang on, pop out the chat. Okay, so hi Whisper. What's going on with my voice now? Hi Whisper to me. Hi Lisa. Hi Mandy. Hi Cat Lady. Hey Sakura. Hi Mystery Truth Seeker. Hi Pat. Hi Lonnie. Hi Maddie. Hi Deb on the Move. Hi Mary Kim. Hi Kansas Sunflower. Hi April. Hi Elise. Hi Anna. Hi Brenda. Hi Lacey. Hi Danielle. Hi Janelle. Sharon. Bernard. Hey Bernard, thank you for the donation you sent. Thank you so much. Hi Sakura. Hi Linda. Hi Jane. Hi Mr. Truth Seeker. Hi Chris Ree. Hi Cindy. Hi Lisa. What did I miss? Hi Pitbull. Hi Mandy Hall. Hi Hennessy. Hennessy, I haven't seen you in a while. Hi Crystal, how are you? Oh, I can show pictures again. And is Two Scooter here? Two Scooter. I tried to look for that picture and I can't find it. I sent you a friend request because I don't know if I have to be your friend. Sounded bad, right? I don't know if I have to be your friend. Hey Scarlett. Hi Amanda. Hi Julie T. Hi Renee. Hey Pat Miller. Hey Kathy from Texas. Hello Belly Dancer. I got in a normal sleep schedule accident. Oh my gosh, really? That's terrible. Normal sleep schedule, come on. Hi Betsy. Hi Jane. Hi Angie. Hi Nora. Hi Sharon. Hi Sakura. Did I get Sakura? Yeah, I feel like I forgot people and oops. I got it. So I just uploaded a video. You probably didn't get to see it yet with Teresa's sister, but when you get a chance, just look at it. You should look at it. Sassy, come on. Desi, get away from Sassy. They're getting along well. Sassy, it's just Sassy doesn't bite or anything. She's just putting Desi, because otherwise Desi will take over. Desi just has to. Sassy just has to lay down law right now. All she does is do that little guy. Yeah, that's right, Danielle. She's got to show him who's boss. Come here, Dizzy. Come over here. Leave Sassy alone for a sec. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, Desi. You looking at Sassy? Okay, say it this way. You can see her. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. You're all snowy. Sassy just came in from the snow and she's soaking wet. You want me to pick you up, Sassy? You're all snowy and wet. Here, I'll pet you, okay? Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. When she dries off a little bit, I'm petting her, so she's okay. You think that's bad? You should come to my house and some real cat-on-cat action. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they've both been out in the snow. But Sassy's got longer hair and she gets like snowballs on her when she comes in. Right, Sass? Right, Sass? She sounds like your Rose. She definitely lets the big boys know who's boss. See, because you can't see, Desi's like on her back, like nibbling at her ears. Chasing her down the hall now. Oh my gosh. Pestering her, yes. Oh gosh. Hi, Rebecca. Hey, Leisha. How are you doing? So I just uploaded the one, but you should really, that's a really, her sister's very animated, and my gosh, I thought one time she did this maneuver like twice. I thought she was gonna really hurt her hand. It was like, yeah, she's very animated, very animated. It's a good interview. It'll remember what we were reading the obituary. We didn't understand all those siblings, and then the different name, and you'll find all that out in the interview. And hi, Vala. Hi, Atsira. Everything's good. They're okay. They're okay. Hi, Jen. Hi, Sammy. Oh, Sammy got a really weird thing at Amazon. She ordered some dog bones, and there was a really strange thing inside. Can I show it, Sammy? Hi, Sorry. Hi, Flower Girl. They get along so well. I used to have two chihuahuas like that. They were brothers, and they loved each other so much, but if they got near each other, it was great. You'd hear all this like commotion when they went in the crates at night. It sounded like someone was killing each other. But they loved each other so much. They would clean each other's ears and everything. But it's just something around the crates. It would sound like they were killing each other. Hi, Maddie. Hey, Carla. To Scooter, did you see what I said? I don't know where that picture is. Did you show me where it is? I've already gotten 2 follow-up emails. What happened? Okay, let me show the picture. So Sammy ordered these dog bones. Hi, Deborah. All right, let me go get the email. Okay. So Sammy said, so I ordered a bag of dog bones from Amazon. And when you're saying dog bones, were they like cow bones? You know how you can buy a shin bone and stuff? Were they like cow bones or were they like faker bones? Okay. And when it arrived today, there was a creepy note taped to the bag of the bones on the inside of the box. I attached it to this email. Have you ever heard of anything like this? I reported it to Amazon. Hey, you. Leave the tree alone. Desi, don't eat the tree. No. No, 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 no. Desi. Hey, come on, here's your toy. Come over here and play with your toys. Here. Get your toy. Here. Go get your toy. Okay. So, now he's going up to Sassy again. I reported to Amazon just now, and they gave me zero info about if this has ever happened. So this is the note that she got in the box, okay? Really weird. I want to find out what kind of bones they are. Hang on. So that's the note. Let me make sure you can see it. And it says, "This is what I look like. Pick me last." Creepy, right? That is like really weird. Okay, hi Jeannie. So wait, is this really weird? Are you guys on a delay or something? Okay, now you are. Amanda says, oh my gosh, so weird. No thanks, I'd send it back. It's on my Facebook, the first post if you go on my page. I tried there last night to Scooter. I couldn't see it, so I sent you a friend request. I think I have to be your friend. Isn't that the creepiest note ever? I threw the bones away. They gave me a refund and a gift card. What kind of bones were they? It was a bag of good and fun kebabs. Okay, now the other thing, let me see. She sent me 2 more emails, so let me see what they say. Hang on. Back to my mail. Okay. So the next email said, oh, that was about, yes, I could share it. Okay, hang on. And then I attached a second photo of the bag where you can see where the note was taped. They packed it so the note was face up to me when I opened the box. Okay, so let's see. Oh, so they put this on the outside of the bag here. Hold on. You know, I just got a weird thing. That wouldn't be anything that Amazon had for their packers. Like, this is what I look like, pick me last. Like, for packing, that wouldn't be any kind of an Amazon packing thingy, right? Google the image. All right, hold on. I'm Googling the image. Hang on. I don't know, it's not bringing, something's weird, it's not even showing up on, the images aren't even showing up here. I don't know what's going on. Why do I have Bing here? Don't tell me this did this again. Hang on a minute. Settings. Okay. Hold on. Why is it still doing that? It's still bringing it up there. I don't know. I can't see anything. It might be something. Did they say anything? But wouldn't Amazon know that they have those kind of things? Oh shoot. Hold on. Now I unpopped my chat out for some reason. Okay. All right, I'm going to choose Scooter. I'm going to check your page again. Okay, hang on. My computer is running so freaking slow. Here, hold on. I'm going to shut this down, close that. Done. Save changes. No. Close that. I don't know what that is. I don't know why. You're so slow. Okay. Still waiting to open your page. This is crazy. But I'll show, let me see if I can show the snowmen in the meantime that some of you sent in the other day and I couldn't show. Okay, so Kristen and her daughter's friend made snowmen and penguins. Oops, hold on a sec. So those are their penguins. Very cute. And let's see. Here's the snowmen and the penguins. Coming up. Very cute. And I think there's one more. Oh, the snowman, yes. And the snowman. Very cute. Okay, and then we have, let's see, Crystal. Crystal made, remember, a lot of them. We couldn't show them the other night because I didn't have the right computer. So here we go. These are crystals. Let me make sure they're showing up, hopefully. Yes, okay. And Okay. And then she made a little baby over here. You see the little baby in the basket? Really cute. Okay, and those, let me see, has anybody else sent in a, okay, let me see here. I'm trying, no, I thought someone else sent me one and I don't want to forget someone's. All right, if I forgot yours, it's just an oversight. I thought it was, hold on. Oh, wait, Paula. Paula has some. Hold on a minute. These are Paula's. Very cute. Look, oh, this is the one, like, yeah, I might have shown this because that's where I saw she made it from the same scarf. I think I did show Paula's. But they could be shown again. I'll probably make a slideshow with all of them if you make them and send them in. Okay. And let's see. And if I forgot you, just tell me now. I'm still, let me see if that page loaded to Scooter. To Scooter, I'm going to try to load it again. It's still saying it was still spinning. I don't know why. Let me just try to go in through Facebook without. Is Facebook down or something? I cannot get on it. I don't know what is going on. I can't get on it. Is it down for anyone else? Hold on, I'm going to check the chat. Uh-oh, where's the chat? Is Facebook down for anyone else? Hi, Snow Remover. Hi, Earthbound Spirit. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Brenda. Hi, That's Apple Snapple. Because it's my page, probably. If you could just send me the picture and what you wrote, if you could send it to me in an attachment, it would be a lot easier because I can't get on there for some reason. It keeps saying page is unresponsive. You can wait for it to become responsive, and then it gives me your page. And I tried to go in through Facebook proper. I can't get on there either. It's not working for me. Maybe it's my stupid Google. Jimmy did something to my whole computer, so I don't know what's happening. In traffic, but 100. Love, and her subscribers. Love you all. Hi, Lanky. Yours is working. Mine's not working. I was having all kinds of issues today, like Walmart.com, Cricut.com, Amazon.com. They kept going down for me. I was trying to order blades. I finally got all the blades ordered. What a nightmare. I think Cyber Monday was breaking the internet. Okay, so let me get... I'm still, mine is still spinning. The page is just spinning. I'm going to try it one more time. If you could just send it to me, that would be wonderful. Nope, now it loaded. Let me see now. Let me see if I can get to your page. Okay, now I'm on your page. Okay, now here's what I have. Your first post is some flea and tick shampoo. Okay, is the second post? Okay, here we go. Now, yeah, I didn't see this last night. I could not see this last night. Okay, so this, let me see if I can now get the, okay, image. Okay, this is Two Scooter's granddaughter that she lost, let me see, how many years ago is it, Two Scooter? Amelia. Let's see. And Two Scooter wrote on her post here, "Those who love me never forget me. I'm in their thoughts every day. I live in their hearts, deep in their soul. I have never truly left. I have never really gone. I am never really gone. I know the tears they cry, and I know why. The sadness in their eyes, I am with you. Enjoy all that life has to offer just as I did. Be silly and funny. Be a friend." Pet all the animals, make slime. Dance in your room and sing your heart out. Do your very best. Read, laugh, work, but play harder. Dream big, and I will see you there. Amelia. Okay, so it's very nice. Okay, so let me go back. Where's my chat? Now I gotta get my chat every 2 minutes. You're welcome to, Scooter. Hey, Karen McCann. Hi, Tamlee. Hi, Muka. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Nerd Love. Hey, Potter. Hey, Lynn. Let's see if I have anything else in the mailbag here. Eric, you sent me something. Is that your homework? Yeah, I know that, Eric. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just let people find that out on their own. Yes, Eric's finding out about some creators with clickbait and all that good stuff. Oh, really? Wow. That was just that's disappointing. Huh, Eric? But I thought that was about your homework. Um, let's see. Okay, so the Sievers trial, I watched it today. I casted it. And yeah, Deborah, you said the defense, they always ask for the acquittal after the prosecution rests. It's a formality. They didn't get it, but that's how the day ended. The prosecution rested today. They had some FBI experts in there that analyzed like DNA and the fibers and stuff on the coveralls. They had, what's her name? Taylor. Taylor came in today, and she called Mark a pervert. So she said, yeah, she tried not to look his way because he's a pervert. That's the word she used, a pervert. And what else happened? And they asked her about the money she was getting and how much Jimmy was going to get paid. And then after she was on, they had the doctor that performed the autopsy on for some gruesome, about all the wounds and trauma. And they were discussing the different kinds of hammers. And so I don't know if you guys saw it. And then the prosecution rested, and tomorrow Curtis Wainwright should be there. So, let me get the chat here. So, any news on the Elizabeth case? The woman that was shot at a yard sale? Where was that, Pipple? Where was that? I did not see Vinny's coverage. Is it really good, worth watching? I got into the sisters interview, and I thought it was going to take a little bit of time. Well, of course it was. I'm like looking, it's 11:41, and then it's 1 o'clock, and I'm still doing the same interview. And I'm like, how does this take so much longer than I think it will? Do I think, no, Jimmy will be in his turtle suit? I don't think they're bringing Jimmy in, are they? They're not bringing, I don't think Jimmy's going in. Mm-mm. You're supposed to get 4 more inches overnight. Hi, Daisy Love. It was pretty good with a panel of attorneys. They discussed the pervert comment. They did. Okay, I'll have to watch it then, just for that. You're back to feeling like trash tonight? Well, that's not good. Not sure. She was leaving a yard sale and a woman drove up and shot her. There's a video online. This just happened where, though? In the States? What about the woman who... What? Are you talking about the one in Pennsylvania that said that they did it, that the kids did it, the 2 kids did it? And then they were asking questions about the dog? Is that why? You are kidding me. Anne, you are kidding me. And the Chicago mom that killed her. Oh my gosh. I guess not, Apple Snapple. I'm behind on my email, terribly behind. You don't know how behind I am on my emails. Unfortunately, she's not kidding. The case that was in Pennsylvania that we looked at, and they were talking about the dog. Oh my gosh. Hi, Mommy for the win. Ah. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. It was when Dr. Sievers' best friend from childhood sat on the stand. Mark fake cried. Oh, yes, yes, I forgot about the friends. Thank you, Lacey. Yes. Yes, that Mark fake cried. Yes. And that, yes, they had the friends on there. Like, I'm forgetting so much now. You know why? Because I just came fresh out of the sisters interview. And that's all I'm thinking about. Yes, she had the one friend, what she knew her from, the one that they said, are you close? And she said, oh, we're so close. We're best friends. And then Mark came, and she was asking Mark stuff, and Mark didn't even know or something. But if you listen to the sisters interview, you get to figure Mark out a little bit, that she kept calling him dingy. He's dingy. He's a scatterbrain. I'll go over. She said he faked cry. Yeah, now that I'm remembering, let me get the. So much. You think you remember it, and it's like I wasn't taking. I was just like not taking notes. I should have taken my notebook. Okay, hang on. Oh, I did remember. Remember the judge asking about the microphone and somebody chewing gum too loudly? Did you guys hear that one? The gum chewing? Okay, oh, and then they had that neighbor on, and Jimmy's like, neighbor's lying, the neighbor's lying. And I'm like, come on, Jimmy, she's not even, went, hi, Eric. I just replied to your email. I mean, with my words. Okay, so let's see let me just go over what was going on today. So at 9, the state had a witness describe the different types of evidence to the jurors, including fibers. Fibers from Jimmy Rogers' coveralls were found in the car Wright rented to drive to the Sievers home. According to Wright, Rogers and he wore the coveralls when they killed Teresa. A witness described, these were from the FBI, right, from the crime lab, is now describing what DNA is. The state is having witness provide very specific details about evidence collected throughout the case. Jimmy Rogers' former girlfriend, Taylor Schumacher, is expected to take the stand next. The two share a child together. She told investigators she helped Rogers dispose of evidence after Teresa's murder, and she later showed investigators where the evidence was dumped. Okay, she confirmed that Rogers and Wright were friends. She said they would barbecue, drink beer, and hang out. She said she met Mark the weekend of Wright's wedding. She told jurors when she saw Wright and Sievers leave the group that night, the wedding, so the two men could have a private conversation. She told jurors about how she got in the car with Rogers after Teresa's murder and dumped the evidence on the side of the road. She said in a conversation in bed with Rogers that Rogers admitting to killing Teresa with a hammer, and she said he chuckled at that statement. Yeah, I guess he chuckled because of his nickname. Crazy there. Okay, and she also said that she thought Sievers was kind of a pervert. The defense started questioning her. Mummert asked her about the financial payment she's been receiving by the Lee County Sheriff's Office. And they talked about Jimmy's nickname, Jimmy the Hammer. But defense confirmed that no one besides Rogers called him the Hammer. No family or friends or anyone else ever called him the Hammer. Court went on a lunch break, and then one of Teresa's closest friends took the stand. She told jurors about how she met Teresa and the relationship they had. She said that Mark called her when Wright was arrested. Oh, that, yes. And he was so upset that multiple people have said this so far. They were so upset about his friend being arrested, and he was upset with the police, which all of them found insane, because if this is the guy that killed your wife, why is he so upset about it? That they've got the wrong guy. This can't be. He was telling the one that if he got arrested, she would be the guardian of the kids or something, right? Yeah. So then, let's see. When she asked Mark about Wright killing Teresa, Mark said Wright loved Teresa, that he was grateful for her and would not have a reason to kill her. Another one of Teresa's friends took the stand. She lives in New Mexico but lived in Texas when Teresa was killed. She said the two originally bonded over their love for animals and their children. I considered her my very best friend. And when she hugged Mark the day after Teresa was found dead, she said it sounded like he had been crying and was crying, but she never saw real tears on his face or in his eyes. She told jurors her and Mark's first conversations together were about who was going to watch the children if he couldn't, and Teresa's life insurance policy. The best friend said that Mark was distraught over who was going to take care of their children, how he was going to afford to take care of the family, and how he could get a job. Remember, Mark did odd jobs and helped with Teresa's practice. She said that she met Wright, Curtis Wright, at Teresa's funeral, and she said Mark never expressed any anger towards Wright, rather said Wright is innocent. She said Mark was concerned with what Wright was telling the police. She said when she asked Mark about why Wright would ever kill Teresa, Mark said he had no idea and he didn't believe Wright really killed her. Mark told Teresa's best friend that he felt like investigators were never going to find the real killers and that they would take the easy way out and pin the murder on him. The Sievers' former next-door neighbor took the stand. That's the one that did the newspaper article and everything else. She said that Teresa and Mark, she would hear them fighting occasionally, and one day she heard Teresa say, "I'm tired of this expletive, I'm leaving." Then court took an afternoon break, and then they had Dr. Thomas Coyne on. He was the medical examiner and that handled Teresa's body after she was killed. After that, the state rested its case. The defense asked for a motion for a judgment of acquittal, which is standard in murder cases. A judge can either approve or deny. And the judge has denied the defense's motion for the judgment of acquittal. And court is going to resume again tomorrow at 9 a.m. So that's what happened if you didn't catch it. But tomorrow, Curtis should be on the stand. And the defense is going to have these big exhibits. So try to tune in tomorrow. Let me see now. Okay, Anne says, I may be crazy. Well, we may all be. What if the defense said Curtis and Mark were in love, had sex heaps? Sex heaps? Okay. And Mark wouldn't leave Teresa, so Curtis took her out and was so pissed with Mark that he set him up. Well, maybe you should be Mark's attorney because that sounds better than the defense that sounds like a good a good defense. You know, uh, here's what I don't understand. Well, they have the phone, the other phones. You know, they have Mark connected, but I mean, I don't even think, are they even going like with the defense for Mark? There are so many people. The defense. If you see the sister's interview, there's this person in the office. Remember that Lanka was talking about, that Sandra? Well, the sister talks about her too. Okay? And then the sister talks about the person that was staying in the house and some unsavory characters that. So, I mean, there's so many people that he could have. I don't know. But I don't see the defense going anywhere. No defense at all. You watched him blow his nose and tried to actually shed tears for 30 minutes and never saw a wet spot even roll down his face. Right. The defense knows he's guilty. Yeah. But they're still. We'll see tomorrow if there's any defense. Yes, Maddie, we will. Elizabeth Bizarra? Wow, what? Texas. I think there is police footage. I'll have to check it out. Hi, Casbat. Eric, what were you supposed to find out for us, Eric? Did you find out? Probably not. Hi, Jenna. The neighbor sure didn't like Mark. No, she didn't. They seemed to trying to find any mistakes in forensics. You have seen this before. Oh, about the two kids. See, I'm scaring myself. I really am. You know what? I have too many cases and interviews going through my head. Oh boy, thank you, Danielle. Yes, about the two kids, Eric. It's kind of weird that the sister uses the Facebook page to promote her own business. Which business is that now? The Facebook page? Which Facebook page? I believe it was Pennsylvania. If it's the one that we looked at that time, they did. Yes, it was sustained. Yes, Anne. You mean Curtis Wright? I think you're trying to find out, Craig. Curtis Wright. Curtis Wayne Wright. It's CWW. Not CCW. Curtis Wainwright. And they called him Wayne. Hi, Diana. Hi, Mobby Chickadee. Okay, so were they bonking everything everywhere all the time? The father, if you listen to the go listen to their family history is that the mother and father were married. They had a son, they had a daughter, then they had Teresa, then the parents got divorced, the mother got remarried, had a son. That's the son with the Italian last name, okay? Then the father got remarried and had a daughter. And then, I don't know, about 10 years ago, found out that he had another child with the second wife. So I guess this is the third wife the father was with. Found out he had a second child with the second wife, and that, I believe, is a daughter. I believe it's a daughter. So that's why all those names were in that obituary. And it seemed like the mother had like 8 kids, but the mother had I think there were 6 siblings altogether. and then one had a different last name. That was the one. And I've been thinking of you, Diana. Hope you're feeling better. Hi, Jenny. Hi, the Bryan clan. So, yeah. Detective Libido. Yes. Yes. That's a good name too. Detective Libido. But did you do your homework and find out about the kids? Mark Sievers is screwed, guilty as heck. Yeah, Linda. Oh, gross. I went to Teresa's page, same photo and hometown as our Teresa. There are several posts that begin Annie Lisa. Annie is the sister. Annie Lisa's posting, and then it's bragging about Annie Lisa's abilities. Oh, yeah? Same photo and hometown as our Teresa. No, but that's her sister. That's her sister. Do you want me to send you the news story? Read the Angels girl that died. The Angels girl that died? All right, Potter. She's a writer, don't you know? Post on Teresa's page, have a client with a 25-year chronic intestinal issue after 2 sessions with me, gone. Mark has the GoFundMe on his page. It's still active? Because we went to the link last night. It wasn't active. Okay, Curtis Wainwright asking about Maui chickadee is a jelly. Can we get Curtis Wainwright out of here? Oh, I probably can do it. Let me see. Oh, I can because I popped the chat out. Okay. Bye, Curtis Wainwright. Stop picking on Maui. And I went deep into some foul places I'd rather not mention. Okay. You went deep into the foul places for why? I'm not sure, but it's still posted numerous times. Did you go to the link and see if it works? Hold on, I have to get some kombucha. I'm like dying of thirst. Jimmy has the house like 1,000 degrees again. Okay. Oops. Oh, if you want to do homework, you can do homework, Owen. I don't want to put homework on people that don't like homework. Eric likes to do homework. if anybody that wants to do homework, just, you want to do homework, Eric? Owen, please, please do some homework for us. Do you want to? I'll assign you homework. I don't like to give homework to people that don't want to do it, because then they're like, then people get pissed, Owen. You can believe that. They're like, why the freak do I have to do homework? So I don't ever want to put it on somebody that doesn't want to do it. Because Eric is failing. Oh, cold beer, yeah. Oh, you don't want to do the homework? See, now, that's why Eric's doing the homework. You told me the 16-year-old OD'd? Oh, okay. That's sad. If I wasn't feeling so tired right now, I would, but I'm feeling like death, especially if Jodi Arias gets a retrial. You'll do homework then? Okay. Three times you tried to tell me. I'm sorry, I was in another room. No, not Mark's 16-year-old. Angie's. Curtis's new wife. Are they still married? And all I found was CWW did something to other kid. Really? To one of his kids or one of her kids? Really? And the mother covered it up for him? Ew, really? Not good. There's a retrial. What? She's not going to get a retrial. I don't think so. You sent me an email, Potter? Okay, hang on. Oh, okay. Angela writes. Oh my gosh, my computer is so slow tonight. I don't know what is wrong with it. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Okay, Joe Patterson, I can't play that video now, but I'll try to see it later. Oh, Danielle, what else is new here? Danielle, is that recent? What is that, recently? I think that's old, right? Oh yeah, I saw that, okay. Okay. Thanks. All right, Potter, It's not letting me open it. It's doing the same kind of crap that the Facebook page did. I'll try to open it later. I don't know why. Something is all messed up. Jimmy did like a point of restore on my... I don't know what's going on with it. Okay. So, now he lost the chat again because I've got to figure out what's going on. I can't take Streamlabs not having its own chat. No, but they kept asking about the dog, so they knew something happened. And how large the dog was. Remember they were asking how large the dog was? Hi, Lonnie. Who said J Bells? I didn't see J Bells in here. Is she here? Somebody said J Bells. I didn't see. So even murderers. What? I'm confused. It's CW. No. No, it's another case. It's another case, Carla. It's the case with the mother that said her kids committed suicide by hanging themselves, and they were like 8 and 3, remember? And then the family dog was missing or something. Oh, you're just liking her snowman. Okay, I thought she was here. Okay. Oh, you said her snowmen were good. Oh, okay, thanks, Owen. She'll appreciate that. 'Tis the season to emoji. Hi, Casbat. All right, so did you watch the trial that has the live chat? No, I didn't because I was casting, but someone told me that they were doing all kinds of things in there, calling me out. Really pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. How dug are you about them? How dug in are you about them swinging? What do you mean by that? Dug in? What do you mean? You don't... The sister says nothing about it. The sister says that Mark didn't have time. He had no time because he was always with the girls. The no-no spot. Yeah, I heard that too, Scooter. Yeah. I know it's silly, but did everyone hear Little Bub, the cat died? I don't know who that is. Who is Little Bub? It's sad that the cat died, but I don't know who it is. Is it like a YouTube cat? You laugh when the defense asked Taylor what was under the bridge, and she said water. Yeah, she said a couple of things too. They didn't swing. He had time to try it on with every female he met. Jackson Galaxy feature Little Bug. Okay, I don't know. You're on the cell. I never tag people. I just, I can't do it right. Oh, was it a black cat? Because I've been seeing a black cat on my feed, not my, whatever, the things that YouTube suggests that I might want to look at. Was it a black cat with tiny little ears? Can't believe her sister said Mark worshiped the ground Teresa walked on. Yeah. How old was the cat? I don't know this cat. How old was the cat? Big eyes. Did it have little tiny ears? Was it black? I saw they had a black cat on my feed today with little tiny ears. 8 years old. Oh, how did it die? It was sickly. Sickly, poor thing, poor thing. You love the cat cafe, Janelle. 7, 8, more of a tiny tiger. I never met him. Okay, so let's look at, I think I have something else from that. Let's go back into Sievers. I have something, let me see here. Where's my, okay, so let me see what happened here. So you guys asked about Mark's initial interview. In an initial statement to the Lee County detectives on Monday, June 29th, Mark Sievers said that he and his wife had a good marriage, but they often got on each other's nerves. He denied suspicions and allegations of infidelity and said the two were making an effort to rekindle their relationship. We heard that, right? However, in a second interview on July 1st, when they were interviewing everybody and their brother, Mark told investigators the couple had experimented with other partners in swinging, but was adamant that his wife had never secretly cheated on him. And the sister says Teresa, I don't know, a few years ago went on a trip and met up with a colleague, and they spent a lot of time together, but they didn't do anything physically. And she came home and she told Mark about it, and the sister was like, you should have never told Mark about it because now he's going to feel sad. And he did feel sad, but she's like, no, they never did anything. So is Mark making this stuff up? I don't know. Do we have them on our website? Do we have anyone that's come forward and said they've swung with them? Okay. He voluntarily gave up his cell phone. And he had FaceTime chats that show he has numerous, oh, I have text messages. I have like pages of text messages from the Sievers phone, from Mark. During the July 1st interview, Mark told detectives that there were 2 life insurance policies, both worth $2.5 million, and that a $40,000, and the couple had about $40,000 in 4 safes in the home. Despite that amount, the couple lived month to month with little financial stability. Okay. So where was my... So I couldn't find an audio interview of Kathy Moran, but I have the PDF interview. And I'm trying to get to something here. Okay, so hold on, let me get the okay, where was it now? I know I had it open too. I was gonna go and get it again. Okay. It's not the one I wanted. Where the heck is my... Let me just get my downloads. And then, hold on, I've got to go pull my... Okay, here it is. And there's that. And didn't I... My gosh, how did I... Okay, wait, I think I'm getting it now. I had her transcript. Okay, I think I have it now. Yes, oh gosh, I got scared. Okay, so we have Ed is her father, Angela's father, and then we have Kathy. We have 2 for Kathy. So the first one, because I want to hear about the dating. Okay. So it was Detective Mike Downs, Lee County Sheriff's Office, and I think this is after he. Now, the woman was born September 18th, 1955, so she's 64 now, okay? In 2015, she was, 59, because she didn't have her birthday yet, so she was turning 60. So she was 59 when Angela said this thing, soon to be 60. Let's find out when Mark dated her. Mark was about 46, 48 years old, and she was 59. So they were about 12 years apart, something like that. Okay, let's see what happens. So we have Kathy, he's given the whole thing, swore her in, right? The whole spiel that he's here, there up from Missouri. And being that we're in Missouri, I'm going to have deputies. Yeah, he's going to swear her in, okay? So they do all that. And do you understand that all this information you're giving him is the truth? Okay, you know the whole spiel, right? Okay, so let's go. Sorry to make you stand in the heat that long. Okay. Okay. So then Mike Down says, I assume by now you know why I want to talk to you, or what have you learned today? And she says, what have I learned today? And he said, speaking with Angie, like, what do you believe is happening today? And she said that Angie and Wayne got picked up early this morning. And the officer says, okay. And she says, in handcuffs and brought in for an investigation. And Mike Downs says, okay, do you have any suspicion of what this investigation might be about? And Kathy says, yes. Mike says, what is that? And Kathy says, Mark Sievers' ex-wife has passed away. The one that was murdered in Bonita Springs, Florida, Mike Downs says. Kathy says, yes. He says, okay. Do you know anything about Curtis Wright, who I assume is your son-in-law, correct? Uh-huh. Yes, he is. Now, why'd she say ex-wife? Do you know anything about his whereabouts or where he may have been during the weekend when she was murdered? Well, he was in Florida. Downs says, he was in Florida? And how did you come to learn of this information? And Kathy says, he had left on a Saturday and my daughter came over Saturday morning. Okay. And she told me that he'd gone down to Florida. And Mike Downs says, okay. And Kathy says, and that he'd probably be back on Tuesday. And Downs said, did she say why he had gone down to Florida? And Kathy says, either work on computers or to do a auction for a man they work for. They work for antiquing. Okay. Did you know specifically when he was going to Florida? No, I didn't. She didn't say. She just said Florida. Okay. Was it odd that he left for Florida and didn't bring her with him? Yes. Did he ever provide an explanation for that, or did she ever tell you why? And the mother says, she said she had to work. And Downs says, okay. Do you know if the trip was planned? In speaking with Angie, your daughter, did he plan the trip, or did he spontaneously just say, okay, I'm going to Florida? Kathy says, I really don't know that one. I do know that it was surprising that, she called and said, well, Wayne has to go to Florida. And Downs says, uh-huh. And Kathy says, and I can't go with him. And she just pouted. And, but he'd only been gone a couple of days, like 3 days, 4 days. And Down says, okay, we're talking about June 27th, I assume he left? Yes. Okay, and he returned, you said on the 29th, which would have been Monday? Yes, Kathy says. And Down says, okay, June 29th, which would have been Monday. Okay, she says, yes. Do you know what time he got home? No, I know she got home from my house and approximately supper time, dinner time. Because I just put color on her hair and she drove home to wash the color out. Oh, okay. That's how I know that. Gotcha. And this was that weekend, that Saturday, right? On the 27th? No, that was Monday. That was Monday. She went Monday when she went home. Okay. And he was here. Gotcha. He was already home. Saturday, this is Downs. Where did you talk to her? Here? Were you here or? No, she was at my house. Oh, she was at your house. Yeah, she came, okay, down my house because Wayne had gone, already left. Okay. Was she visibly upset? Like, did she seem distraught that he had gone? And the mother says, without her? Yeah. Okay. Was she all like emotional, like sad? And the mother says, she's always emotional. Oh, she's always like that. Yes. And then the Down says, but more so now because he left for Florida from what I understand. I don't think it's anymore. Okay. And at Sunday, did she mention how he got to Florida? Did he fly? Did he drive a car? Oh, he rented a car. And then Down says, do you know why he would rent a car? Because I see they have 2 minivans there. That's why I ask. Kathy says, well, because gas. He rented one that was better on gas. Down says, okay, and his car was in the shop. Oh, okay, and their financial situation doesn't appear to be that. And Kathy fills in, great, no. Flourishing, Down says. Where do you think he would get the money to be able to pay for a rental vehicle to go to Florida? She says, credit card? He says, do you think so? She says, oh yeah. And then Down says, can you think of anybody else that would have rented a vehicle for him if he didn't do it himself? Nope. I don't know anyone who would. I don't think his parents would have. Gotcha. And then Kathy says, and that's the only people that I know he hangs around other than, no, he couldn't get a rental car because he's an ex-con. So he wouldn't get a rental car. Gotcha. So, I guess she's talking about Jimmy Rogers. And then Down says, I'm just, on Saturday, when Angie was at your house, when this all transpired, and Kathy says, we went to a garage sale. Oh, you were at a garage sale, okay. Kathy says, yes. And then Down says, was Ed there by any chance? Now, Ed's the father, right? Because he mentioned something about it, but he said you would have more detail than him. And then she says, he was there. Ed was home. That's what the transcript says. And Down says, okay. And she said, Angie doesn't stay long at my house. And Down says, yeah. And Kathy said, I don't think she can handle, we have a handicapped child. Her daughter had a handicapped child. Oh, the officer says, okay. So that would be her granddaughter? Yeah. And then she doesn't, Bryson's her baby and Kaylin's mine. Got you. Was there anybody else present at the time? She didn't say anything. That she was over there that day? Brittany. We were at Brittany's house first, so we were Brittany. Okay. And Kathy says, that's my daughter-in-law. Okay, and let me see who else. Trying to think. Down says, yeah, take your time. Ed said you had, and then Kathy says, then she left. Better details? Then she left. She took the kids to the park. Down says, okay. Kathy says, and she took me down to my mother-in-law's that day because it was hot and she thought the park would be great. But Kaylin can't stay out in the heat. Gotcha. And then she says, my girlfriend was in town and we were going to go to the garage sale together and, Oh, really? Down says, have a day off. Is she from Florida also? Oh, no, my girlfriend's from Illinois. Oh, that's actually right. That's not too far away, right? It's about 2 hours away from my house. What's her name? Rose Gruner? I'm not going to chase her down. I'm sorry. And then she says, Rose Gruner. And he says, Rose Gruner. And she says, she's a nurse practitioner. Is she? And then Kathy says, And then Down says, do you think that she would be willing to talk to us or no? Kathy says, I don't see why not. Believe me, she's watching this on TV. And Down says, oh, she has. Okay, so you guys have talked about this then. And Kathy says, we talked about it. And he says, okay, we've felt sorry for him. I mean, there's one thing I don't understand. I don't know if Angie already mentioned this. And Down says, and maybe, I won't lie about anything I'm telling you. No, please, if you can. Kathy says, I'm like, why, I don't understand why Wayne would have gotten a rental car and then turned that rental car back in and got a second rental car. And Down says, that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I find this interesting because they went right back to Florida, from what I understand, right? And Kathy says, yeah, they got a phone call the very next day saying she was gone. And Down says, okay. And Kathy says, and then they up and left. And Down says, and that's why it's important that I talk to you, because obviously you talked to Angie. And she says, yeah. And he says, it's very coincidental to me finding out about this, that he all of a sudden left for Florida, someone was killed that he knows, and then he comes back and he goes right back down to Florida. Did you know where the Sievers were? His friend Mark and the woman that was killed when he went to Florida? Were they at his house? Were they on vacation? Do you know anything about that? Kathy says, as far as I know, afterwards I had heard, after the fact, and the Down says, yeah, that Mark was up in, at a family reunion. And Down says, And Kathy says, and that she came home a day early because she had to go back to work and Mark stayed up there with the kids. But Mark's the home mom. Down says. Kathy says, you know. So that would be nothing for Mark to do. Down says, yeah. And then Kathy says, you know, but I don't know. Down says, okay. Kathy says, I would. And then he cuts her off and says, do you feel that it's coincidental that he would go down there and then all of a sudden go back? She says, I think it's coincidental. I don't know how to feel. And he says, and then she says, in my gut feeling, I don't know how to feel. And Down says, in your personal opinion, do you think that Wayne has the capability of doing something like this to someone? And Kathy says, And Down says, because in speaking with Ed seems to think so. So I was just wondering, obviously. And Kathy says, I know. I honestly, I know that he's a martial arts expert. That's why he wanted to do that chokehold. And Down says, and Kathy says, I also know that he was in prison for 3 years. And I'm sure that if you're in prison for that long, you know what you have to do to survive. And Down said, no, I understand. Okay, well, and Kathy said, but, and Down said, I'm just curious. I was just curious of your instinct. And Kathy says, do I think, I would hope, I would pray not, because, and Down says, yeah, me also, yeah, definitely. And she says something unintelligible, killed my daughter because my daughter believes everything he says. And then Down says, well, and that's my next point I was going to bring up. I was trying to speak with her earlier. And Kathy says, and she's having an emotional day. I understand that. And then Kathy says, yeah, but see, she just lost she lost a daughter. And then Down says, she was telling, and Kathy says, yeah, and Down says, me about that, and I know, and I'm not trying to upset her, but I was trying to explain to her we're not accusing anybody, we're just, we're following, and Kathy says, leads, and Down says, where the investigation has brought us, and she says, and Down says, and she says, well, you don't know my husband. You don't know my husband. He's the kindest, gentlest person in the world. And Kathy says, And Down says, and I want to know if and Kathy says, could he be? Yeah, he can be. And Down says, well, that's what I mean. In my experience, people that have said to me, but Kathy said, anybody can be. And Down says, anyone can be for short amounts of time. But you would know the negative side of him because you're unbiased. She loves him. And Kathy says, yeah, she loves him. And Down says, so naturally she wants to protect him. Kathy says, right. And Down says, that's why I want to talk to you and say, Kathy says, right. Down says, is he Prince Charming? Is he the nicest guy in the whole world all the time? You know what I mean. And the other thing that I wanted to bring up was that if she was hiding anything, and I'm not saying she is by any means, not accusing her of anything, but Kathy says, yeah. Down says, I want to let you know that, because sometimes moms can talk. Right, Kathy says. Down says, moms can talk sense into people. She says, right. If she knows something, and we're going to find out. Oh, I know. We're finding out, Down said. Kathy says, oh, I know you're finding out. Down says, if you can, talk to her, and comfort her in a way and let her know that if we find out she's protecting him and he did something like this, she's also going to go to jail for a very long time. Kathy says, And Down says, and we're very open to the opportunity. If she ever wants to come to us and say, I made a mistake, I lied, and here's what happened, that's a game changer to me. Kathy says, right. Down says, you know what I mean, but Kathy says, right. Down says, if we have to find out later and then come to her, that is not going to be. Kathy says, honestly, I don't know. If Mark and Wayne have been friends since they were kids. Down says, that I know. Kim says, and Mark was in their wedding. Down said. Not Kim, Kathy. As you know, and they just got married in May. May, okay. Kathy says, and so that's the first time I've seen Mark in years and years. Could I don't know. I don't honestly know. I don't know. Down says, okay. But no, just something to keep in mind if you're talking with her. Kathy says, Down says, let her know as I think it's supposed to be as her mother, if to do the right thing and not, I assume she wants to, and Kathy says, I think he could, seriously. I think he could buffalo her like a rattlesnake right now. And Down says, well, that's what I mean. And now, I mean, I got the sense from talking with her. So if you can speak with her and talk some sense into her that she doesn't, get herself into a hole. I'm not saying she is, but if she does. Kathy says, yeah. And Down says, because I see this all the time. We're open. She does not have to be scared to come forward. Okay, Kathy says. And then Down says, because I understand that in this situation she loves him. And she's somewhat emotional about what's happening, and she may be conflicted. Kathy says, okay. But there may come a time when it's too late to say, okay, I'm sorry I lied, because then, Kathy says, right, it's over. But if she comes to us, that's different. Kathy says, right. Down says, so, just so, I mean, if you can, just, right, Kathy says. Down says, try and talk some sense into her so that she doesn't destroy her life from somebody who, in the end, he can wind up doing the same thing to her. Right, Kathy says. Down says, if he did in fact do this, I just want to confirm one more. I don't want to take up your whole day because, no, that's okay, Kathy says. Down says, I understand you're very busy. No, I'm fine. And Kathy says, the kids are taken care of. And Down says, gotcha. I just want to confirm this. Stop me if I'm wrong, but from everything you told me, I understand that Angie personally told you that on June 26th, which would have been Friday, I guess Wayne had planned a trip to Florida and left on the 27th, which would have been a Saturday. Is that correct? Kathy says yes. And Mike Down says, and do you remember? Kathy says, he said that he was going to leave at 4 in the morning. Down says 4 in the morning. And then Kathy says, and then Down says, and do you remember? Excuse me. Okay. And then Kathy says, he didn't leave till 8 because she was supposed to be at my house. And Down says, gotcha. Kathy says, and then she got mad at him because he didn't have his phone with him, so she couldn't contact him. And Down says, so she was upset about that? Kathy says, yeah. Down says, and she made some comments about him not taking his phone? Kathy says, yeah. Down says, okay, do you know if he has any other phones? Does he have any? I have no clue what that man has. Okay, got you. And do you know if there's any guns in the house or anything like that? Do they have any weapons? Kathy says they do have a gun. Down says, do you know where it is? Where do they keep it? Kathy says, no. All I know is she said that, one day she said she was real distressed and she asked him to put it up. Gotcha. So I don't know. Do you know what kind of gun it is, or like a pistol or a rifle? Kathy says, I have no idea. And Down says, okay. Kathy says, because I don't even allow guns in my house. Down says, gotcha. Yeah, that was just, went down a little bit of a sidetrack, but just, I'm just confirming, we just confirmed that Friday, the 26th, yeah, he planned to leave, rented a vehicle, Saturday he left, he was supposed to leave at 4, he left at about 8, Angie was very upset because he did not take his phone. Kathy says, right. And you had no way to contact him. Right. He left in a rental vehicle? Right. She didn't have any contact with him until Monday night when he arrived. Kathy says he called her. He called her from somewhere, but I don't know where. Oh, he did. He did contact her, Kathy said. Down says, okay, and did she personally tell you this? Kathy says, yes. Down says, do you know how? What he contacted her on? On her phone. Oh, he called her on her phone. Okay, and you know what day that was? Had to be that Saturday. Saturday, yeah. Okay, and you know what the context of the conversation was or anything? Kathy says no. And Down says, okay. Kathy says, no, I don't. And then Down says, okay, and he returned home Monday night. Kathy says, yeah. Okay. Then Down says, okay, and have you heard anything about his trip, aside from, I know, she says, I know, because I asked him, I said, how'd it go? Down says, uh-huh. Kathy says, did it go okay? And she goes, yeah, I guess. I mean, he goes, he just went, then he said he went down for an auction, and I said, well, I thought he was going down to fix a computer. Down says, uh-huh. Kathy says, and then she goes, no, Mama, auction. And then Down says, an auction, and this was the antique thing, right? Yeah, and the guy, she does work for an antique dealer, Kathy said. Who's that? Oh, I don't remember that name. I have to ask Angie. She knows it. Down says, I'm trying to think because there was a mention of it. Kathy says, it's an older guy, and I don't know. Okay, Down says, do you know where he lives around Florida? No, he don't live in Florida. Oh, he doesn't? Where does he live? No, he lives in St. Anne or somewhere. Where's St. Anne? Just for my... it's probably about... What state would that be, Down says? It's Missouri. Down says, it's in Missouri? And Kathy says, yeah. And then Down says, so the latter. I got this straight. She later denied that he ever went to Florida after she told you that he went to Florida. Kathy says, no, she said he went to Florida. Oh, okay. And then Kathy says, but now it's supposed to be for an auction. Oh, okay, an auction in Florida. Yeah, but originally he told you he was going to go do computer work or something, right? Right. Okay, gotcha. Is there anything else you can think of? Anything else pertinent around the time frame that seems suspicious or out of place that we did not talk about today, or anything else you've heard from Angie? She said, well, they put cameras in their house after. And the officer says they did. So when did they go back to Florida the second time? The second time they went when they found out she was deceased. Down says, so he came back on a Monday? What day do you think? And then Kathy says, and he left on Tuesday. Oh, he left the very next day? And Kathy says, they left the very next day. So, he returned the car and he rented the silver car? Kathy says, yes. To go back? Yeah. Why? Yeah, and they never gave you a reason for that. Kathy says, no, I didn't even know about it. My daughter told me. Gotcha. And then Kathy says, and all they had to do was wait one more day and get their car back. And then Down says, well, how come they don't have their car back now? Do you know? Kathy says, they should have. And Down says, oh, they just haven't picked it up? Kathy says, well, they haven't picked it up yet. So, see, the car wasn't ready till the following morning. Like, okay, it'd be Wednesday morning, the car was ready. And Down says, got you. And Kathy says, and they left Tuesday. Down says, okay. And Kathy says, I don't know. That's all I know. And I'm telling you everything my gut. Okay. And do you know when they got back from Florida the second trip? Yeah, they just got back. How many days ago? Today is Sunday, so they got back on Saturday, Kathy said. Oh, they got back yesterday? Yeah. And Down says, okay. And Kathy says, yeah, they went and visited some friends down there. They've got several different kinds. Gal that used to live with us when we were kids, when they were kids, moved down to Florida, and they went and they saw him. But again, if you're on a tight budget, Down says, yeah, that's what I mean. They seem to be. Now, since he got back, now they're visiting people and spending money. They have a new shed, which I thought was strange. Do you know anything about that shed by any chance? And she says, what shed? And Down says, they have a brand new shed on the other side. And then Kathy says, I know, they were paying off. They were paying off payments to a guy up the street. Down says, okay. And Kathy says, and I know they were working on that because I know it was like $500. Down says, gotcha. And they were like paying him off 100 at a time. Okay, so that's legit, Kathy says. Okay. Kathy says, yeah. Down says, is there anything else you can think of? Oh, the cameras. Just one more thing, those cameras. What? Wayne put up the cameras in the Mark Sievers house? Kathy says, after. And Down says, okay. And Kathy says, after. After with the second trip, Down says? Yeah. Okay. And do you know why, Kathy says, he said it would be safer for the girls. Down says, for the girls? And Kathy says, yeah. And then Down says, okay. And did you know if they stayed with Mark or if they stayed somewhere else? And she says, they stayed with Mark's mom. Why would they stay? Just out of curiosity, why would they stay with Mark's mom and not Mark? Kathy says, I think Mark was staying at Mark's mom's. Oh, he was also staying there. Kathy says, I think so. Kathy says, I think. I'm not for sure where Mark was. Okay. Do you know Mark's mom by any chance or no? And Kathy says, no, I met her years and years ago. I mean, probably 30 years ago. Okay. My little sister was engaged to Mark. Okay, now this is the aunt, okay? This is the aunt that Angie said. So Kathy's little sister was engaged to Mark. And Down says, okay. Kathy says, years ago. Oh, your little sister was. Oh, no kidding. Kathy says, uh-huh. Okay, that's interesting. How, and Kathy says, yeah, and he says, how long ago was that? She says, and Down says, it's a small world, right? She goes, yeah, probably 30 years ago. They were teenagers. Okay, and when did, so you've known Mark since, she says, yeah. And he says, he grew up here, right? And Kathy says, yeah. Okay, that's how he knows Wayne. Kathy says, yeah. And Down says, and they're, from what I understand, they're close friends? Kathy says, tight. And Down says, okay. Do you know anything about the Sievers marriage or any issues they were having or any money involved or anything? Kathy says, uh-huh. And then Down says, okay. And Kathy says, I know she worked a lot, and I know he took care of the kids a lot. Down says, uh-huh. Kathy says, but they helped people that, getting girls off the street, you know, as far as, oh, okay, helping people with, like, you know, if they were in, how I understood it was, if they were caught up in that, selling, when they sell people, yeah, help like, Kathy says, yeah. Then Down says, human trafficking and stuff like that. Kathy says, yeah. Down says, okay. Kathy says, and they were trying to get people off the street. Down says, got you. Kathy says, I'm trying to get him better. Down says, okay. And Kathy says, and so, Down says, is there anything else you could think of right now? Kathy says, he says, okay, well, for now, we're going to go ahead and conclude. Okay, and they conclude that. That's the first one. That's the end of the first one. Now I'm going to go back to the chat to see what you guys thought about that and see if you're still here or if everyone left. Okay. Okay, is anyone still here? Did you all leave? What happened? Hold on a minute. I'm missing something. I can't even see my, okay. I have to pull us.
Hey, I
did not mean to do that. I'm trying to get to my chat so I can see. Okay. So, let's see. That was interesting stuff. There's another one, because he didn't go into her dating Mark yet, right? He knows that. He's not going to give that up. He's going to let her come out with it. Thanks, Nerd Love. Thanks, Lisa. Fooled you. We're still here. Hi, Evelyn. So what's the reaction on that? You're welcome, Leisha. You're welcome, Danielle. Thanks, Jenny. We're here. The mom gave away that Wayne and Angie did have a gun, right? Yep. Looks like my chat has stopped. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to go up a little bit. Hi, Honey Badger. This whole case is so disturbing. Yeah, you keep every single person is bringing something way more into it. Yes, she did also, but they didn't hit on that yet. Hi, April. You overslept? Okay. That's okay. Hi, Bethany. Very interesting, Flower Girl. They were tight, yeah. They were tight, yeah. Angie lied about a lot of things. She was very emotional. Hi, Lisa. Very emotional. Hi, VST. What else? Very emotional. She couldn't take being there because of her disabled granddaughter that it seems like her mother's raising. Now, I'm confused. Where's her daughter? That can't be the daughter that died, because didn't the daughter die 10 years before the son? So what happened? I'm outside in my backyard with my dogs, 37 degrees. You love fresh air. It sounds good, Lisa. Leisha. What is Angela's last name? I'll look her up. Well, right now it's Wright. Unless she, I don't know what's going. Eric, what's her current last name? The shed, right? What shed? Your shed. Oh, that shed. The new shed. I think it was $500, right? There is more to the story. We have another interview from Angie's mother. Let me see how much. Let's see. So this is part 2. Okay, usually this is just some follow-up questions, so let's see. Okay. So it's Detective Mike Downs. They're going to do all the swearing in and all this stuff, right? Okay, and let's see. Okay, so they also have, let's see, also doing the interview is Sergeant David Labid. And then Mike says, if she had anything, any concerns, any questions, anything like that, and we did meet with you tonight, she says yes. Kathy says yes. And in speaking with you, you had conveyed to us that she called you recently, just last night. Kathy says yes, which would have been July 13th, right? And Kathy says yes. And then Mike says it's the 14th today, July 14th. Kathy says yes. And Downs says, okay. And can you just start at the beginning and just tell everything like it happened, why she called you, what you talked about? So Kathy says, okay. I called out to her mother-in-law's. Her name's Jane. Well, her first name's Jane. Okay. And to let her know that Kaylin, my granddaughter, had to spend the night again. Okay. And Kathy says, and I did find out that, let me get my days totally perfect. Sure. Take your time. We've got plenty of time. Okay. Do you want a calendar? No, I'm just thinking about what she said, how when I found out that they had to go down there, and that, yesterday, okay, it was last night. It was last night? Yeah, it was. Okay, Downs says. Kathy says, last night, I just had to get my thoughts. And this is Angie that you called, right? Yes. Angie called me back. I called out to his mother's to let her know that the baby was still in the hospital. Uh-huh. And Kathy said she called me back. I was concerned that she has enough help with the baby. Uh-huh. And then Kathy says, and then I made a mention, I asked her what was going on, because I know that her hands, I called it, her hands were full, but mine were too. And then I ended up saying that she told me that they had a misunderstanding and that he was at home on the weekend when I spoke with you yesterday, you said that he was away yeah. But Angie told you that he went away, he left. Kathy says he went away Mike Downs says on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, Kathy said. He came, right, the 26th of June, Mike Downs says. Okay, that's the date, Kathy says. Downs says, okay, the 28th. And Downs says the 27th. Kathy says 27th. Downs says, was the Saturday? Downs says, that Detective Labid says, was the Saturday? Downs says, and Friday, the 26th. Labid says, yes. Downs says, the 27th. So you left Saturday, the 27th. And then Kathy says, the 27th. Downs says, 8 o'clock. Kathy says, 8 o'clock. Mike Downs says, but he was supposed to leave at 4, right? Kathy says he was supposed to leave at 4. Then Angie came out to my daughter-in-law's house, Brittany, and that's when I took the kids out there for a garage sale. I'm silly. And then she went to Children's until she had to go to work that night. She spent the night in my house that night after work, because Wayne was out of town in Florida. Also, she told me the first time that he had to go fix the computer. The second time she told me that he had to go go for an auction. I don't know which one he did. But he was gone. I don't know where Angie, I'm not for sure if Angie spent the night Sunday. I don't remember. But I did get a phone call saying that she heard from Wayne. Okay, Mike Downs says. Kathy says, but they didn't get to talk. Downs says, were you there when she got the phone call, or she told you? And Kathy says, no, she was at work. Down says, okay. Kathy says, but she told me he called her at work. Gotcha. Kathy says, and on the following, I'm trying to get my thoughts here. After that Monday, she ended up coming back to my house and helping me with the children for a few hours. I did her hair, and she went home approximately after dinner time. 5 o'clock, and Wayne was home. And this was on Monday? Kathy says, and that was Monday. Mike Down says, the 29th? Kim says, yeah, and Monday, she went home, he was there. She said he was sleeping. She said that he'd been home for a little while. Down says, And Kathy says, now, that was the only conversation we had there. Okay, Down says. And then Kathy says, then after that, the very next day, she got a call that Mark's wife was gone. And that they packed up and left immediately, and they stayed down there from Tuesday and got home Saturday, and then they had gone, saw some friends on the way home. Misty Olson, that's one of our friends that we have from childhood, and then they came home on Saturday. They picked up Bryson from his grandpa's house because Kaylin was having a shunt, so that he needed to go somewhere to go. And then, of course, Saturday night, that's when Angie came and got him. Got you. Okay. And now, when were you on the phone with her? Last night now? She called you. Do you remember why she called you? She called me to see how the baby was doing. Down says, how she was doing? Kathy says, how she was. Mike Down says, okay, doing, and I kind of chewed her out for not helping me. Down says, And Kathy says, and I also told her that I knew Wayne had a lawyer's appointment today. Down says, okay. Kathy says, at 1, and because his, either his sister-in-law or someone in the family. Down says, Kathy says, I got the numbers on my phone, if you want the numbers. Sure. You can find out who's who. And that at the time, that's when Angie kind of got in a little hyper. Yeah? And was telling me that we had a misunderstanding. Wayne told me he was home all weekend. We were, we just didn't. Mike Down says, when she says we, does that mean that her and Wayne had the misunderstanding? Yeah. Her and Wayne had a misunderstanding that he was home all weekend by himself. Down says, by himself? Kathy says, yeah. Down says, okay. And she specifically stayed at your house that Saturday night. Yeah, Kathy says. Because he had left to go to Florida, though. Right. Okay, because she doesn't like being alone. That's what she said. Right. And they're newlyweds, and you would think that was the first time they'd ever been separated. Kathy says, right. And Down says, and stop me if I'm wrong, but she told you that when he went away during that weekend? Yes, he told her that she couldn't go with him? Kathy says, right, they just couldn't afford, Down says, because she had to stay and work. Kathy says, right. Down says, or they couldn't afford it? They couldn't afford it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I have that straight. Kathy says, yes. Down says, okay. Labid says, okay. Down says, did it appear to you that she was trying to change your mind about what you thought could happen to? Kathy says, didn't change my mind at all. I know she didn't, but did it? No. It bawled me out. I bawled her out for not helping, and I hung up on her pretty much. I said goodbye and I hung up, and then called my daughter, my other daughter, Carrie. Carrie calmed me down, and I called Angie back, and I told her that I loved her, and that I was sorry she had problems, that I had my own problems. And then Kathy says, and then that was the end of it, She didn't say no more about Wayne. She didn't say no more about, the mishaps, or if he was home or if he wasn't home. Mike says, yep. Kathy says, or nothing. That was all. And didn't try to convince me after that because I really didn't, I didn't want to hear it. I really didn't want to hear it. Yeah. Labid says, right. Kathy says, so that was it. And Labid said, but in the beginning, did you get the impression that she was trying to change, Kathy says, oh, yes. To change her mind? What do you think of that? I mean, was it the way she said it? Was it something specific she said? Kathy says, yeah. Labid says, because you know your daughter. Kathy says, I know my daughter. So Labid says, so tell me what? Kathy says, and she said, because of the fact, well, she first said, he's gone one place, going for computer. Then he's going for an auction. Then he comes home Monday at 1, or supposedly at 1, then turns around and tells him, he didn't go anywhere, and now if he didn't go anywhere, why didn't he just call his wife and say, hey, honey, I'm home? Down says. Kathy says, and come on home, we're just newlyweds. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, that kind of like red flagged me. Labid says, absolutely. Kathy says, that's why. Labid says, do you know any of the neighbors that live near them? Nope. Okay. Do you know how long they lived in that neighborhood? Oh, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months. Has Angie ever told you about them spending time with any of the neighbors? No. Having problems with any of the neighbors? Kathy says, no. She said that, I think she talks to a couple of them, like hi, and cordial. Mike says. Kathy says, but as far as Angie has like a group of friends she's had forever, and she hangs with certain people all the time, because those are they've always been around, Mike says. Her mainstays, And Mike says, together. Labid says, do you know any of their names just off the top of your head? Kathy says, not their last names. Just their first names is fine, Labid says. Kathy says, Labid says, we might end up meeting them and talking to them. Kathy says, I'm thinking, well, I'm going blank. But Labid says, it's okay, it's late. She had me do her wedding flowers. It's late, it's not a big deal, Labid says. Yeah, you'll think of it tomorrow, we'll talk. It's probably like, bang, right when I go lay down. Yeah. Well, you had a rough day today, Down said. Yeah, Labid says. And your plate, like we said, it's full. Yeah, Kathy says. Labid says, do you think Angie talks to anyone else and bears her soul? No. Just Wayne, Labid says. Wayne, Kathy says. Does Wayne have any other really close friends other than Mark? Kathy says, oh, no. Oh, he does, but, that's the one he sent Chelsea to. I'm trying to think of his name. He's a young guy. Labid says, did Chelsea die in the house? No. Chelsea died at her boyfriend's house, or used enough to where Mike says, yeah, she overdosed. Kathy says she overdosed, and they got her to the hospital on time just to keep her on life support for us to say goodbye. He puts on a good act in front of people. Like I just had for Mother's Day, my family, all my boys and in-laws and stuff, they made me a flower bed in front of the house. Well, that's nice. He did most of the work. Oh, that's nice, Labid said. Like he was kissing Heine, Kathy said. Mike says, Yeah. Kathy says, trying to make me really like him. And I was like, hey, he's a great guy. Thanks, you know? Mike says, yeah. Kathy says, but, Mike says, can't pull the wool over your eyes, right? Kathy says, I, I, I've been through enough, Mike says. Kathy says, enough for my lifetime. Then Mike says, and then some. Kathy says, you don't get this old to not see it. Uh-huh. Kathy says, the writing on the wall. Mike says, absolutely. Labid says, absolutely. Kathy says, and every little slap in the face. You get old or smarter at it, you know? Labid says, well, let me ask you this. Kathy says, yeah. Labid says, based on the meeting with us in recent events, does this make you think back to any other events that you've dealt with Wayne or stories that Angie's told you and made you think about other things that were suspicious or different or notable? So Kathy says, years ago. And Labid says, what about years ago? Kathy says, years ago, Greg Boland's brother went missing, and Labid says, he's a preacher, right? Kathy says, or a pastor, Labid says. Kathy says, he was. I don't think he was I don't know if he was a pastor or if he was just like a gonna-be pastor. Sure, Labid says. You know, he wasn't in a church. I don't think he had his own church yet, though. Labid says, right. But he was working towards that. Kathy says, yeah, he was working towards that. And then Labid said, okay, you were saying, what about them going missing? Oh, he came missing. And Wayne was suspected or suspicious. I can't. How so? Labid said. I think that you'd have to talk to Greg Boland to really know that story, because I never really got the whole story. That's my sister's husband. What? Huh? Or was like her husband. You know the one, right? Labid says, right. Yeah, that's another time. Labid said, she's still married to him? No, she's bipolar and she's very sick, so she's pretty not married anyway. Do you still talk to her? Labid said. Oh yeah, I see her at my mom's. Labid says, okay. Kathy says, at least once a week. Okay, so your sister, and what's her name? Kathy says, Shelley. Labid says, Shelley was actually married to Greg Boland? Kathy says, Greg Boland. Labid says that it was his brother who is now missing? Yeah, it was missing for years. What's Shelley's last name right now? Torbit. Torbit? Is that Torbit? Uh-huh. Okay. So she was married to Jerry Torbit? They got a divorce after. Great family, huh? You are, Terry is, the others aren't. Those little kids are amazing, Labid says. Kathy says, oh, they're amazing. Labid says, that's good people. Kathy says, yeah. Labid says, absolutely. Kathy says, oh, yeah. Then Mike says, so Shelley was married to Greg? Kathy says, uh-huh. And how do you spell Greg's last name? Kathy says, B, and Labid says, O-L-E-N? Kathy says, yeah, I think so. And Greg disappeared? No, his brother. Oh, okay. No, Greg's brother. His brother did. Kathy says his brother disappeared, and Labid says it's been about 10 years ago right now, maybe 15? Kathy says, oh, it'd be more than that. Libid says, at least 15. Kathy says, at least 15. Libid said. Kathy says, let me think through this series on this. I'm thinking how old Ryan is. Ryan's 21. That's her son. It'd be around 20 years. And what was so suspicious about Wayne at that time? Mike says. Kathy says, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know Wayne then. I knew Angie. Like, Angie dated him around, 19 years ago. And he came to, and the only time I really ever met him, the man was, he came to Kerry's, my second daughter's, graduation party. And we had karaoke and stuff like that. And he was there. So that was the only time I really met him at that time. Angie dated him a little bit, and then they both moved on. Why? They both remarried together. So why did they end up moving on? Do you know? 'Cause Angie went back to her kid's dad. Okay, and that's Ernie? Yeah, Ernie Williamson. Oh, okay, Mike said. Is there anyone else besides Shelley that you think we should talk to about that? Oh, Kathy says, I wouldn't talk to Shell. Just because of her, I mean, if you could see Shell, you would know what I'm talking about. If you've ever seen someone bipolar, Libid says, they talk sometimes, and they sleep 20 hours out of 24. Yep, Libid said. You know, Kathy said, it's really sad. Greg, now he's another story. He could tell you anything you needed to know. Sure, Libid said. And he lives here in Hillsboro. Mike says, okay. And other things about, Kathy says, Mike says, Wayne, do you have any phone numbers for Wayne? Yeah, let me go get my phone. Mike says, how many? How many phone numbers do you have for him? Oh, I don't have Wayne's number. I just have what was on my phone. Because Wayne never gave me his number. What do you mean, what's on your phone? Well, what about finding about the, Mike says the phone number? Kathy says the phone number from his mom's and the phone number for their family. Oh, sure. I have those numbers, Kathy said. Okay, Libid said. All right, just give those to me. And she says, okay, we'll wait if you want to go grab it. Kathy says, okay, sure. And then she gives them the numbers. And when you call that number, do you not get him on there? No, I get his family. Oh, you get his family, okay. I only get his family, yeah. And there was another one. You know, I used to be really smart on this thing, but okay, hold on. I've been trying to get a hold of my daughter so damn bad. Why is it like nobody answers, you know? Mike says, Kathy says, like, okay, are you just avoiding the phone, or... Mike says, do you know if they had any upcoming plans to go anywhere or anything? Kathy says, Mike says, are they planning on staying where they are for now? Kathy says, yeah, one time she said that. Doggone it. Where is that one? Okay, it must be, she's still looking for phone numbers on her phone, okay? It looks like, and then she gives him part of a number. Mike says, are you calling him? Yeah, you're calling him? Kathy says, I don't care. I think that's the number. That should be it. Mike says, okay. Do you have anything for, and what number is that for? Kathy says, it's one of his family members and another family members. Mike says, okay. Are these home phones or cell phones? Kathy says, cell phones. Everything's cell phones. Okay. Do you know if he's ever used these phones? I mean, have you ever called him and had him answer or anything? Oh, no, Kathy says. Okay. Now that I know, Angie called me today from it, You know, Angie called you today from it? Yeah, or the other night, last night when she had. Do you have what numbers do you have for Angie to reach her at? Kathy says, well, I pay for her cell phone. Oh, you do? Mike says. Yeah, and it's, she gives him Angie's number. That's the one we pay for. Okay. It's under our name. That way, no, that's very nice of you, Labid said. I can get a hold of her, Kathy said. Absolutely, I get it, Labid said. Kathy said, and I pay for my sons, and wow, Labid says, and I pay for Chelsea's, and wow. Thank God. I mean, those people are lucky to have you around. I'll tell you that, Mike said. Kathy says, you know, you're amazing, Labid said. No, I'm just a mom. Labid says, you do your job right. Thank you, Kathy says. Then Mike says, right now, is there anything you can think of? Well, we can talk again. We can talk every day if you want to, but Kathy says, yeah, it don't. Labid says, uh-huh. Kathy says, bother me any. Mike says, right now, is there anything else you could think of that's recently happened or anything that comes to mind that would help us? Kathy says, no, I think, like I said, the only thing from years ago is, you know, if you're asking something, you know, that just flashes in your head like that flash, you know, and I'm sure but I'm not positive on this. Greg would know more on it's been so many years, I don't, but if I'm not mistaken, he was told not to leave, you know, the St. Louis area. Mike says, I'm sorry? He was told not to leave the St. Louis area by who? Kathy says, by the police at the time. Oh, okay, gotcha, Mike said. So, you know, but nobody ever found the body. Nobody came, they never found anything. Uh-huh. You know, Kathy said, as far as anything else goes, like I said, all that was really peculiar was last night. That was totally, like, flagged me. Like it smacked me in the face. Mike says it was blatantly obvious that it was so trying to change her story. Kathy says it was so obvious. It's like, are you trying to jack me around? No. Mike says, okay. Does she do that stuff like often? Kathy says, yeah. But so did her daughter, you know? Like, they would say what would make it sound good, but they'd forget what they said before. Mike said, uh-huh. Labid said, uh-huh. Kathy said, or they would think that I forgot what they said before because I'm senile. I think that they got that because I had a stroke years ago and I had to be on certain kinds of medicines, and to come back from a stroke, you have to really work on it. So, and Mike said, yeah, my mother died. And then Kathy said, I'm on memory medication. Mike said, uh-huh. Kathy said, and so, Mike said, you seem to have a good memory to me. You remember more than I do. Labid said, yes. Kathy said, but as far as I know, that's all I can think of. Okay, Mike said. Okay, Labid said. I mean, I can't think of. And Mike said, does anyone have anything additional? Nope, Labid said. All right, we're going to go ahead and conclude. Okay, at 11:29. Okay, so they didn't go into the dating that she dated Mark, which kind of strange. But I'm going to go back to the chat. See what you thought of that. Okay, hang on. Gotta get the chat out. I gotta do like things. So what'd you think? You caught that. The family is so Kathy is away with the fairies. You caught that. What did you catch? Good old Rockies. Hi, William. LJR, I misjudged him. LJR, Little Jimmy Rogers. You misjudged him because he said some chilling statements. If Mark Sievers gets booked, Curtis Wainwright will go into PC. Protective custody. Defense was thinking she would say no, he looked fairly normal. I don't know why that Bolin story reminds me of something that Random Guy Jeff told us, because Random Guy Jeff is in Missouri. Do you remember some story? I thought it had a preacher's son or something in it. Something about some guy that went missing. Didn't Jeff tell us a very similar story about some? Does anybody remember that? That was like deja vu for me. I was freaking. Hi, Boxer Rescue. Oh, you got off topic. Okay. Does anybody remember Random Guy's story? It was ringing a lot of bells for me. That snitch tattoo ink has already been put on. Motley Crue, Crooks and Freaks. How come you guys aren't chatting more? I don't think my chat is working. Yes, tomorrow he's going to be back on, Carla. I thought it was similarly familiar that there were two guys and one was in his backyard. Remember, and he was doing something? And he was a bald guy, kind of like Curtis Wright, but then he was connected to some other kind of a thing. You don't remember? Nobody remembers when Random Guy told that story. Where the heck is Random Guy when you need him? I know he's not sleeping. That didn't sound familiar to anybody. You're headed to sleep soon? Oh, wow. Me too. Me too. I don't think he's sleeping, but he could be doing the 4 to 4. Did you hear about the plane crash? No, I didn't hear that. In Idaho Falls tonight? That's sad. Everyone perished? Because we are listening, trying to keep this lit of characters straight in our heads. Or is that just me? No, I understand. It's like crazy. This case is crazy. It was Hennessy's face into her keyboard. He probably is. I think he's been making the rounds at a lot of drama channels. He has been. Random Guy. They were in South Dakota, and 9 of the same family died. Who were they? Do you know what the family name was? Jeff popped in before. Yeah, Jeff pops in and he pops on out. Pops in and pops out. But he told a story that was similar. Too bad he's not here to tell me what I'm thinking of. It's so tangled, Potter. It's crazy. And we haven't even gotten to Angie's father. He's random. I mean, I can't do it tonight, but there's an interview from her father that should be good as well. Angie's father. Phrases was all I heard and said they're from Colorado. Yeah. That'll have to wait. And then tomorrow they will have Curtis Wright. He's a social butterfly, isn't he, too, Scooter? Crazy Frazee. Crazy Frazee. What's the name of the family, Boxer? Do you know the last name of the family? They don't have a business up there, do they? Do they have a business up there in Idaho Falls? Is the last name Vandersloot? Good night, Kristen. Six degrees of separation. Ronnie Bolin is the brother's name that's missing. Do you see a suspect of Curtis Wainwright? Last name is Hansen. Okay, so you could look into the Bolin case and why Curtis Wainwright was a suspect. So it's Ronnie Bolin if you want to look that up. And then you can look all that up, but I am getting sleepy too, so I am going to go. That was a lot for tonight, and it's all going. Watch the sisters interview. If you haven't seen the sisters interview, I posted it. Watch it, because I put little things in there. There's a lot of good information in that too. Oh, thank you, Boxer Rescue. We got snow, but it wasn't bad. Oh, we already have a 2-hour delay tomorrow, and it might be a total cancellation, so we will see what's going on. But you thought it froze? No. Thank you to our moderators for being here. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, hit the thumbs up on the way out. Shuts the lights. And you have to care about conserving energy. All right. You had about 8 inches? Yeah, I think we probably had close to at least 6. I don't know, right? All right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. God bless. Love you. Stay safe. See you later. See you tomorrow. go over here and shut this off.